as a volunteer, I found out that my mother was in desperate need of a bone marrow transplant. She had lymphoma, an aggressive and unpredictable type of blood cancer. In order to perform the transplant, the doctors needed a blood donor who was a genetic match. But then, as now, there were no existing matches in the world. And so my family, friends, and I went on a crusade to find my mother a matching donor. The best chance of finding a match for an Armenian, like my mom, is another Armenian. In fact, the most probable genetic match for anyone is a person of the same race or ethnicity. This becomes a problem for minorities, who tend to have small registries. If the group of potential donors being searched is small, the likelihood of finding a match is tiny. And so, unfortunately, it is for my mom. The Armenian Bone Marrow Donor Registry consists of only 20,000 people, not one of whom is a match for my mother. As I was already in Armenia, I set out to increase the number of Armenian registrants in the system. Joining a bone marrow registry is simple. It requires only a small saliva sample. If you are a match with someone in need of a transplant, chances of which are slim, the doctors don't go near your bone marrow. They simply draw your blood. I have explained the procedure to many people, and I've explained how simple it is. While working at bone marrow drives in Armenia, I approached strangers on the street and asked them, well, begged them, to get tested for the registry. But even those few people who understood my English flat out ignored my request. The one thing, though, that I found work was sharing my mom's story. As Stalin, of all people, put it, the death of one man is a tragedy. The death of millions is a statistic. Steve Jobs, the CEO of Apple, almost died waiting for a liver transplant in California in 2009. After his recovery, he worked to improve California's current organ donor system, calling it an obscure process that resulted in no one asking the simple question, will you donate your organs? Today, I'm asking you the simple question, will you sign up for the registry? All it takes is the swab of your cheek, and you could save my mother's life. There are hundreds of Armenians besides my mother looking for a matching donor, not to mention thousands of people of other ethnicities. The African philosophy of Ubuntu is a theory of interconnectedness based on the phrase, I am because you are. In the case of people receiving bone marrow transplants from a donor, Ubuntu can be understood as, I live because you do. Today is a day to remember the Armenians we have lost. I can think of no better way to commemorate the loss of life that was perpetrated during the genocide than to ask all Armenians to give the gift of life to someone in need. I have faith in the fact that my mother will live because you do. And for that, I thank you. If you would like to register, we have a table set up right here. It takes 5 minutes. Thank you.
Please register. It will save a life. I am now pleased to invite back on stage the Hamaskain Choir of